Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Coming back at you with another interesting video. Um, I don't know if you guys heard about the young lady in Baltimore, the young 21-year-old black lady in Baltimore. Um, she owned a beauty shop, I think it was a beauty shop, and she sold hair out of there as well. She was murdered in her shop. I don't know if you guys heard that story. But I just wanted to talk about that. That it was very disturbing to me when I heard about that and I read it and I listened to some other people did some video talking about it as well, and it was very disturbing to me. I was really disturbed by it. I just couldn't believe it. Um, they killed this young lady, 21-year-old young woman. She had a little baby. I think she had a little girl. I'm not sure, but they murdered her, came into her shop and murdered her in front of her little baby. Who does that? Who does that? Who murders somebody in cold blood right in front of their baby? They did it right in front of her customers and her little baby because she would bring her baby to the shop. She was bringing her baby to the shop. They murdered her right there in front of her little baby. Now that little child may be traumatized. I don't know how old the baby was, but that baby might be traumatized for the rest of their life behind that. Now this young lady, little backstory about this young lady. They say that they always talking about how black women are ratchet. As a whole, black women are ratchet. Doesn't matter. Doesn't seem that they don't seem to discriminate as far as the age. This black women across the board are bashed consistently, particularly here on YouTube, and horribly stereotyped. We're called ratchet. We're all on having multiple children, all on welfare. We're all lazy, and we're called every horrible stereotypical name that people can possibly think of. A lot of it is coming from black men. And but what they don't realize is that there is a lot of black women out here. There are millions of black women out here that are doing positive things, that are doing good things. They're going, the college rate for graduation rate for black women is statistically really high. Black women are going to college in in a lot, um, in big, large numbers. They're getting educated, they're getting degrees. The entrepreneurship rate of black women has increased. That's a statistical fact. More black women are starting businesses. Um, there's a lot of black women out there. You hear stories of black women that are doing things, positive things for their community. You have a lot of black women that are foster mothers that take in um, foster children, and sometimes they adopt those children. You never, ever hear about those stories. You do hear about them here and there, but you really don't hear about too many of those stories here on YouTube because, or not really that much because it doesn't fit the racist narrative that is consistently talked about as far as black women. It doesn't fit that racist stereotypical narrative that all black women are lazy, ratchet, uh, whatever other name they want to call us. This young lady, she 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 was phenomenal. This young lady was phenomenal. She went to the college, she got her degree. She was only 21 years old, so she did you know, all this stuff. She went to college. She managed to start her own business. She had her own beauty supply, um, hair beauty shop slash. I guess she sold hair products in there. She sold hair weave in there. extensions and things in there too. She was an entrepreneur. She had her own business. She took in young ladies and mentored them and tried to teach them how to train them how to do hair and stuff like that to help other young ladies in the community. This was an outstanding young woman. She was an outstanding young black woman. Very outstanding. It was another a YouTuber on here. I guess her name was Chrissy, by the name of Chrissy, I think it was. She started telling a story about this young lady, and I was like looking at the video, and I was like, please don't tell me something bad happened to her, please. She started telling the story about her and everything that she had done, and I said, please don't tell me something horrible happened to that young lady. And then finally, towards the end, towards the middle of the video, she talked about what happened to the young lady, and I just like, oh my God, I was floored. I was floored. I'm like, oh my God. I was hoping and praying that something horrible didn't happen to her. And somebody apparently had broken into her shop a few days before that, and um, it was a couple that broke in there, a man and a black man and a black woman, and the black woman had beat her up. And then they suspect that it was that same couple that came back and murdered her in cold blood in front of her baby. Who does that? Who does that? Who kills somebody in front of their baby? They murdered her in cold blood in front of her baby. This such a tragic story. It's just so sad. And my thought is, this young lady worked. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm doing my video. Oh, I'm sorry. What you need? I'm about to say, you got something I can wrap my hair up in? Just a minute. I'll try to find something. Excuse me, that was my son. He didn't know I was doing the video. Anyway, I mean, this they always talking about how black women are this, how black women are that. We're ratchet, we're lazy, we're whores, we're lay up and kick out bunches of babies, and we do that. But nobody ever talks about young women like this, young black women out like this that stand out. That she worked really, really hard to get to where she was at. She worked really, really hard to get to where she was at. And to have her own business at 21, how many young people, white or black, can say that? Of all races, how many young people at the age of 21 can honestly say that they have their own business? She was an entrepreneur at 21 years old. This young lady was smart. She had everything beautiful, phenomenal. They said she was a great mom. She had everything going for her. And to have these people come in her shop and murder her in cold blood like this in front of her little baby. And they believe it was the same couple that broke in before that beat her up and stole her hair. They stole, I don't know how much, thousands of dollars, I guess, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of hair. So they came in and stole her products, her hair. And my thought is, it's like people, it's just no words. I was like, how do you do that? How do you murder somebody and steal their stuff? Just murder somebody in cold blood in front of their baby. How is these people sleeping at night? How are these people sleeping at night knowing that they did this horrific thing to this young lady that worked really hard? She didn't go out there and she didn't steal the hair. She worked hard. She worked really hard to get to where she was at. And these people, instead of having enough game about themselves and going out there and working real hard and going about getting things the honest way, they want to come and steal from somebody and kill them in cold blood in front of their child. And see, this is the kind of things that I talked about. I did a video a while back ago. It was 2 or 3 years ago about my house had gotten robbed. I think it was back in 2017. Matter of fact, it was back in 2017. I did a video. My house had got robbed. I went to California, and while I was in California, my house was robbed. Well, it was an inside job. My son let somebody in a house that he had no business letting in here, and they came back and waited till my son went to school and came back, and they knew I was gone. Whoever it was, they knew I was in California. They knew I was out of town. So they thought it was a safe way for them to come in and take what they needed, you know. And I was talking about that, and I was talking about how we are our own worst enemy. And they were black people. My house had been robbed twice since I've been in this house, and it's both times black people. We are our own worst enemy. We are our own worst enemy. This is the reason why our people cannot get ahead, because it's the crabs in the bucket mentality, pulling each other down, killing each other, robbing from each other, stealing from each other. Black people that have that work, this young lady worked hard. She worked very hard to get what she had. And to have these people put her place the value of this hair that she had over her life and take her away from her baby is horrible. It's terrible. And you hear about stories like this across the country in black neighborhoods, communities across the country. This is the reason why our people cannot get ahead, because you got our own people. We talk about racism. We talk about racism, how, well, we racism, and we talk about racism on the job, and those things are real, and we experience those things. But then we have to come home and deal with things going on in our own community. We have to not only deal with racism out here, you know, from white people, but then we have to deal with it in our own communities. We have to deal with issues in our own communities. It's ridiculous. Black people, we will never get ahead. We got to start educating our young people. Older black people, we got to start educating our young. We got to start educating our young people about our history, about this system, the way it's set up. That we have to teach our young people. Black fathers and black mothers need to, these children need to, that's why I said in my other video, we need strong black families. We need strong black families. When we have strong black families, then these kinds of things are not going to happen, because you got the fathers there, a loving father that's teaching the son the right way to go. The Bible says, teach a child in the way they should go, and they will not depart. You know, they won't, you know what I'm saying? Teach a child in the way they should go. This is why I say we need strong black families. They need a mother and a father. They need mentors if the father's not in the home, older black men mentoring the young black men in the community, teaching the young black men the proper way, the way they need to go. The older black ladies mentoring the young black women and teaching them the right way to go. This is what we need to start doing in our communities. Nobody's going to come in and do it for us. All across the board, in black communities, small cities, medium cities, large cities, across the board, all across the country. We got to start doing that. We're in danger of becoming a permanent underclass. These things continue to happen. You know, it's that crabs in the bucket mentality. We talk about racism and have to endure racism from white people, but then we're dealing with it in our own communities. It's our own peoples. We have to worry about our own people more than anybody else. Statistically, it's, we're more likely to get killed or robbed from our own people than any other race of people out there. But we cry and holler about racism coming from white people. But we have to endure it in our own communities. We're at more risk of our own people, and that's a shame. That's a shame. That is a dirty shame. These kinds of things should not be happening. These kinds of things should not happen. This should not have happened to this young lady. This young lady had a lot going for her. She had a long life ahead of her. She was raising her daughter. I guess she had a little girl. This shouldn't have happened to her. This is a tragic thing that should not have happened to her. And all this kind of things, this old man in Detroit, they killed this old man in Detroit. Shay Woods, the Shay Show, I think he was talking about it. They killed this old man. They robbed him. I guess he had a shop or a store, and they robbed him and they killed him in cold blood. We got to stop this. Something has got to change. We got to start educating our young people. We got to get to our young people. It's our young people that's doing this stuff. We got to do better, black people. We got to do better. We got to do better. Nobody's going to come in and do it for us. We got to do better. Or our people are going to continue to suffer. We got to do better. We got to stop this. We got to stop this crab in the bucket mentality in our communities. We have to stop it. We are our own worst enemy. This young lady should not have had to die like this. She should not have to go out like that. As hard as she worked, she did all the right things. She did all the right things that she was supposed to do. She worked hard to get to where she was at. To have somebody can't come in and steal from her and kill her. They put the price, the value of what she had over her life just to get what she had instead of going out there working hard and acquiring that for themselves. Looking at her as an example. How do these people sleep at night? I don't understand it. People want to put all the blame on the single mothers, but it falls on the black women and the black men. It's not just on the single. Well, the first thing people say is, well, that these people are being raised in single black home with single black mothers. Well, what about the fathers? What about the fathers? It's not just on the mothers, but the fathers need to be there teaching their sons, teaching their daughters, teaching their sons. The father is very, very important in these young men's life. Where are the fathers? Why are the fathers consistently walking away? That is the question people need to be asking, and not just putting all the blame on the women. We need to make some changes. We need to make changes. This young lady should not have had to die like this. She should not have had to go out like this. It was horrible. In my prayers, I said a prayer when I first um, I heard about the story. I said a little prayer for the young lady and her family. I said a prayer for her family. My heart and my prayers go out to her family and that little baby that now has to grow up without a mother because of these horrible animals that did what they did to her. And I pray for justice. I prayed for justice, that in the name of Jesus that there will be justice. That there will be God's justice, but God's justice and man's justice, that they get God's justice and they'll get man's justice as well. I hope and pray that they find these people that did this to this young lady. Because her family deserves that. She deserved that. She didn't deserve that young lady didn't deserve to die like this. I don't care what nobody say or how much you want to hate on black women. This young lady did all the right thing. She worked hard. She did not deserve to go out like that. That's all I want to say. This story was very disturbing to me, and I had to address it. Let me know. I forgot the young lady's name, but let me know in the comment section if you heard about this story. She was a young lady, 21 year old black young lady in Baltimore, had a beauty shop and was murdered in cold blood in front of her baby and her customers. Let me know in the comment section if you heard about this story. When you heard about this story, how did it affect you? What did you think about when you heard about this story? We got to do better, black people. Nobody's going to do it for us. Nobody's going to come in and fix our communities for us. We got to care about our own people. Bottom line, we have to care about our own people. Stop all this gender war between black men and black women. We got to stop that. Stop it. We got to do better, black people. As a people, we have to do better. Okay, hit me up in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, and share. And hit that notification bell so every time I do a video, you will be notified. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. Stay tuned. Peace and love. This is Sweet June.